the waiting room, but you popped up in it. So, oh, Emily's telling me I have to redo it every week.
Oh.
You
So
know,
what's up? What's up? Where are you located right now?
I'm in Oakland, California right now.
Okay.
We just loaded up the RV. We're driving out of here Tuesday.
Cool.
So the kids are coming over this weekend again, and so that's been nice to see the kids. But I'm ready to get home.
Yeah. Well, it's raining over here.
Ooh, wow.
Raining in New Orleans. Raining in Metairie.
Well, it's a good time to spend Friday afternoon on a Zoom call.
Yeah, yeah. We missed you last week. I'm glad you stopped in for a second.
I tried, but the signal was so bad. Billy saved my butt because originally he was too busy to handle it, and I was going to go to the beach with Emily and her niece, and I figured I'd just sit in the car and do it. But then I got to the beach, and the signal was so bad it wouldn't work. And luckily, Billy had called me on the way there and said, "Yeah, I can do it." And I go, "Okay." So he made it work. Good guy.
And I was able to send the photos that I sent you last week to Billy.
Yeah,
And he put them up.
Yeah.
Which worked out pretty good.
So now I'm hoping that John Muratis comes on today, because he sent that email about which I forwarded on to you.
Right, I saw.
About showing up, about coming back on. So I guess he's doing better.
So did he go back into the hospital? Is that what happened or what? You don't know.
He didn't say. He just said he's back to. Let me pull it up. It was pretty funny. John Morrow. Something about kicking ass and.
Right. I read it. Yeah.
Yeah. Please send me the weekly Zoom, which I made sure I did. I'll be back starting next week. 2020 has not been my best year, but I'm still kicking ass and taking names. Tell Jeff I've resigned Lake. Oh, he's one of the jobs that I guess Jeff didn't like.
Oh yeah, Lake Compounds.
Yeah.
Hey Billy.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can see you. You look good.
Okay, thank you.
And David Crittner's about to come on. Oh, okay. We'll come in here then. Emily's coming in to say hi. Pull up the chair.
Y'all are important enough to where I have to get up and say hello.
Hi, Emily.
Hey, Emily. Hey, Tom. Hey, Barry. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Dave.
What'd you say, David?
We're officially sick of California.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, first off, not that I want to see mosquitoes, but there's something bizarre when you have no mosquitoes, right? Because it never rains. We have been here 2 months, not one drop of rain in 2 months. Okay. Then today I figured out why the place generally looks filthy dirty. It's because there's no rain. And so the streets don't get cleaned off. The sidewalks don't get cleaned off. Nothing gets washed down the storm sewer. You know, it's just like.
I mean, the cars sitting in the driveway are filthy.
I mean, it's just like, you just don't realize what it's like. I mean, I know right now New Orleans gets too much rain, but I don't know whether I'd want to, not have any rain at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's raining right now here.
That's what Barrett said. Man, I am like starting to dream about rain. I haven't had rain. I mean, I turned the bathtub on so it sounds like rain.
You get the little sound effect for your I have one of those Alexas, and I just tell it to play ocean sounds or rain or when I need to go to sleep.
Listen, I'm going to have to do that because, I mean, it gets creepy after a while. I mean, it's just totally creepy.
But Emily's still working with people on the East Coast, so she's been getting up at 5 o'clock every day to have.
Oh my gosh.
5 o'clock.
Oop, everybody froze. Sorry.
Yeah, 5 o'clock is an 8 o'clock meeting. So usually I'm up at 4:30, so that I can get a cup of coffee, and then I have an 8 o'clock meeting, and then I plan all my meetings while Tom's asleep, right? And
See, if I was a good guy, I'd get up and make some coffee and some scrambled eggs.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And then Tom rolls out of bed and gets gone about 9:30. And by that time, and that is so freaking true. By the time you come down, it's 9:30. And so by that time, I'm like done 3 or 4 hours worth of work, so.
Keep them either barefoot and pregnant or keep them working.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Well, this is off the subject a little bit, but Emily, I saw your post. I didn't realize you had an incident with split pea soup in a pressurized cooker.
You know what? Let me tell you, I'm a New Orleans girl, right? So I use a pressure cooker, right? I mean, my daddy used to say, use a pressure cooker, keeps the kitchen from getting hot and all that kind of stuff. But nobody ever told me that you're not supposed to cook. The one thing you should not cook in a pressure cooker is split pea soup. Okay, now I did not know that.
Was it split pea or lentils?
No, it was split pea.
And I didn't know that either. I'm gonna put that in my pocket.
Well, when I later Googled it, they said it gets all pasty and it partially blocks the steam vent, right? Because it gets so gooey, and it literally that they have found over time that when pressure cookers malfunction, apparently they malfunction most often with split pea soup in it, right?
And this thing malfunctioned so bad. Well, first off, the lid hit her in the face, steam hit her. So then she leaves, and there is shit everywhere in the kitchen.
I mean, the split peas actually went in between the glass of the microwave, and it never came out, right? Because it's a double pane glass.
Yeah.
And it just, I mean, the force of it went inside cabinets, inside the oven. I mean,
Yeah, it was made.
It was shocking.
I spent a couple of hours cleaning up, and I looked up, and it was on the all over the ceiling.
I mean, it's just.
How long ago? How long ago was that?
Oh, that was probably about 3 or 4 years ago, And I
just finally got it cleaned up.
Yeah, which that's not bad. I went about a year without having a pressure cooker, and then I really missed it because I mean it's like so great to get something done in a hurry, right? And of course people call them now one pots, right? A one pot is in part a pressure cooker, and so I said so now we use it again. But I had one of those old ones. Mine was like really old, and they've gotten a lot safer since the old ones,
I guess I haven't looked at new ones. I always thought they were kind of dangerous.
Well, they're not so much anymore. I mean, they make really good collard greens if you're in a hurry. I mean, you know what I mean? They're really great in terms of like cooking something quick for dinner, but they're not nearly as dangerous as they used to be at all, right? Now they've got lots of safety valves and things like that. But this was one of those old ones where you take it apart and, you do it all by hand and it doesn't just automatically, unsteam itself, which is what the one pot does. But yeah, so that was my story. That's the last time. I haven't eaten split pea soup since.
You can say I haven't had a pea in years.
I know, seriously. How's Bonnie, Billy?
She's at the grocery store. I was waiting for her to get back before I logged on. It's Big Louie's birthday tomorrow, so she's out buying stuff for us to cook and have for tomorrow. So.
God, did you guys grow up in New Orleans? Call it making groceries?
We never used that term. I mean, we grew up in New Orleans, but we never said I'm going to make groceries. No.
Yeah, I don't think I use that either.
I don't know what it was in our family, but we used to use it all the time. I'm going to go, when you went to Swagman's, you said, well, I'm going to go make groceries at Swagman's.
Well, I know my grandma used to call the sidewalk the banquet.
The banquet.
Instead of the sidewalk, But she was Cajun. Maybe that was a French word for the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it was a commercial they used to do making groceries, but we never did use that term. Yeah.
So when are you guys going to head back home?
Tuesday.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's not like we're going to get home Tuesday, right? We'll get home Monday. So it'll take us like 5 nights and 6 days.
Yeah.
To do it. And we're not.
It's a big country.
It's a big country. And we're not stopped. I mean, we'll stop to sleep and all that kind of stuff, but we're not going to take a day off or anything like that. We're just keep going.
Seen it all now. See, I heard you got to stop in Wyoming and pick up a hitchhiker.
Well, you know what? The weather's getting very iffy. you got wildfires.
No, he's talking about Dorothy.
Oh, well, yeah, no.
No,
not-
Dorothy tested positive.
She
for
tested
COVID.
positive for COVID, so she can't get in the tin can with us.
Oh, wow.
I know. We were going to pick up a friend's sister, and
I mean,
we.
there's not enough room in Wyoming to socially distance.
Well, I mean, I said to her, I said, well, Dorothy, I think we should all get COVID tests, right? Because we haven't been that close to anybody, not even our own kid, right? Kids, even seeing them here, we've kept 6 feet. You know, we did social distancing because they did not want to give it to us, and they were kind of out and about a little bit. And so we all went and got COVID tests, and damn, didn't hers come back positive. And I said, well, that's the end of that ride in the tin can. I mean, you know, no way. I mean, she said, well, you know, I'm not feeling that bad. And within 2 weeks, you know, I said, no.
Just tell her she can't exhale for 4 days.
Well, I mean, you know,
She was going to wear a mask the whole time.
I
she
mean,
said.
it's like, first off, the bathroom is like this big, and there's only one of them, you
I mean,
know.
this whole RV is like an elevator.
I mean, it's bigger than an elevator.
Maybe she can do like those dogs that drive when you're riding in the head, hold her head out the window the whole time.
I was just like,
Teach her how to pant.
Emily was going to put a couch on top and
put a couch on top and
tie her down.
Kind of like what's his name's dog, you know, put a Mitt Romney's dog, put a crate on top of the car.
Granny clamp it.
Yeah, I just said, and I said, nah, it looks like you're not coming to Maryland now, you know, and stuff. So it's like that was the end of that one.
Here comes Rick.
But
Rick?
the weather is starting to be iffy between here. I mean, the worst part of it is going through Nevada, the mountains, the Grand Tetons, and then going, you know, through Wyoming, because it's actually going to be
Hey,
super
Rick.
cold.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, guys.
So, you know, we don't want the tin can out in the snowstorm. So we're trying to get out in time before all that happens.
Where are you? Where are y'all now?
We're in California over by San Francisco and Oakland. So we leave Tuesday. So, you know, when I get to the middle part of the country where it seems like the weather's like less of an issue, then I'll be like, yay, okay, we're almost there, you know.
Yeah. Hey, David.
Hey, Rick, how's it going?
All right, guys.
It's all New Orleans. It's all New Orleans so far.
All New Orleans here right now.
Y'all
Yeah.
send me a poor boy. Can somebody send me something to eat?
Oh boy, yeah.
Well, send over by your mamas.
Let me tell you,
Yeah.
we went to this poor boy place yesterday that our son brought us to. They wanted $18 for one poor boy. And I'm like,
Was it 20 feet long or something?
No, I mean, it was, I could not believe it. I said, you could get a poor boy in New Orleans filled with shrimp, you know. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. It was like an Italian sub or something. It was, they called it a hoagie because some friend of theirs from Philadelphia had come in and taught them how to make po' boy, you know, a hoagie they called themselves being really trendy because they served East Coast hoagies. And I'm like, I'm sorry, they don't cost $18 even on the East Coast, you know.
Well, I guess you must be craving a Frankie and Johnny's by right about now.
Oh.
I need some sodium. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Bonnie still keeps talking about the plate of French fries with the debris and cheese.
Oh, that is.
She says, if I'd known how good that was, I wouldn't have ordered dinner.
Oh, that was so good. I mean, that was those debris fries at Frankie and Johnny's are the best.
Yeah, I like Frankie and Johnny's is good. Yeah.
It'll be over pretty soon. We're rounding the corner.
Oh yeah, right. November 4th, it'll be over, right? November 3rd, right? It'll be over November 3rd.
We're getting rid of one of the viruses maybe on November 3rd.
Let's hope.
Somebody said today, I read this thing where it said, if you think the mute button worked for the debate, let's just put him on permanent mute, right? You know, in other words, vote him out. And so
No, I hate to say it, but I can't watch those debates. I mean, this makes me crazy. You know,
I can't watch it.
I'd rather get the summary of it later because I'm just like, the first
I kind of had it
yelling
on.
at the TV so much, I scared my father-in-law.
Yeah.
I
had it over a little bit.
In another room, Bonnie says, "Would you please keep quiet? You're scaring Louie." And I said, "Oh, okay."
You're scaring Louie. Billy, you cannot scare Big Lou.
Yeah, well, and usually he can't hear too well, but I must have been yelling really loud.
Was this a bye week this
I
weekend?
kept just yelling, "Shut up! Just shut up! Just a
What?
little bit! Just shut up!"
The Saints?
Was
Yeah,
this
it
a
was
bye week for the Saints this
Last
No,
weekend?
they
No, we
play at the
against
Dome
Carolina
Sunday.
on
I know
Sunday.
they didn't pay this last weekend, did they?
We
No,
played
that was
last
last-
Monday a week ago.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
last weekend was their off
We
week.
had a week off.
Say,
And
Jeff.
Oh,
yeah,
Hey.
yeah.
How's it going, pal?
Hey,
Hi,
We're
Jeff.
hoping John Murata shows up this week.
that's what he said, huh?
Yeah, and Jeff, he sent a special note to you.
I noticed that.
You notice?
He's not going to book me at Lake Compounce anymore.
Oh, come on, Jeff.
I thought he said he was going to book you.
Lake Compounds? I don't remember.
What?
You mentioned Lake Compounds, didn't you?
Yeah, it was one of the greatest jobs I ever had. I was the only
No,
one
you
where
didn't.
I was actually going to use a meat hook. It was a very active crowd. I mean, I liked them, but it was a tough gig. And the only thing that made it possible was we got free rides on the roller coaster. And I would just sit on it and ride it over and over again, which partially explains the damage to my brain.
Yeah. Did it rattle any of your fillings out too?
I found the secret, Tom. The secret is lean forward, not backwards in the seat. If you lean forward, the center of gravity of your body remains constant. If you lean backwards, the center of gravity moves outwards, and that gives you the awful feeling. When I found that out from the guy who ran the thing, I couldn't stop.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got to ride the roller coaster.
Is my video on?
No, your video isn't on yet.
Okay, well, hang on a second.
There it is.
There it is, Bill.
Hello,
Some
beautiful.
debonair, Bill.
Yeah.
There you go. You can put a billboard up there.
How was all the guests?
Bill, we just see your forehead.
Oh, really?
There you go.
Well,
Oh,
There you go.
You turned
Lost
you.
the picture.
Wrong way?
video's off.
Tom, I must have forgot to log out of you last time because I'm still showing Tom Wolf for me too.
That's
we
okay.
forgot.
People will start.
Tom, you're Tom too. Huh?
Nice hair I
Can
have.
you guys see me?
That means I can put pictures up of my
We
kids.
can hear you, but no video yet.
Oh, yeah?
We had the top of your head a little while ago. When you reached forward, it went off.
There it is. Oh,
Oh, shoot. I'm clicking with my,
there. That's good.
Yeah, we got you.
We
all
got-
right, okay.
Hey.
Whatever you're touching, keep touching it.
Now, I heard all you guys
That's what
last,
my girlfriend said
Don't.
before the bed broke.
Yeah, that's right.
I heard a lot of guys last week, but I didn't get, any pictures. Now, you guys were talking about Dave Bargeron, Pete Levin.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
talking about Bargeron.
Yeah, I put some pictures up that Barry sent me last week. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was an in-club scene. Yeah,
Mhm.
Dave is he's amazing. You know, he's my age, 79. I hate to admit, but he still blows a mean horn.
Dave was one of the finest. Dave was one of the finest horn players we had.
Yeah,
He
You know,
left the,
I think about a lot of the musicians in the mustache, especially the horn players. They really went on in the jazz or rock world and became really
Yeah.
stars. And they all started with us at the mustache.
Yeah, another guy who was in my same class at BU was Pete Levin. He
Don't
played
go him.
he played everything. He just looked at the instrument, and the instrument just took him in. he
Dave
played
Bargeron, guys, he went with blood,
keyboard,
sweat,
he
and
played
tears.
French
he
horn.
went
Really?
with blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat,
And then he
tears.
played,
Yeah,
he did a lot of recording with a lot of people.
did a lot of
And he
commercials.
would come into the club with his trombone, and every
Yeah.
once in a while, he'd bring the trombone. I think it was a C tuba, the little one,
Okay, yeah.
and a flugelhorn.
Oh, yeah.
And he just played one after the other. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a master of the instrument.
He was a true. We had a lot of them. The horn players
Yeah.
Yeah.
were really fun musicians.
In New Orleans, we had a lot of guys that worked at the club in New Orleans. One went with Pete Fountain.
Oh,
and
yeah.
with him. We had a couple that went with the Dukes of Dixieland.
Yeah.
You know, one went with Al Hurt. I mean, you know, these are guys, you know, that did pretty well
Yeah.
after they got their training at the mustache.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
What did Maynard do?
Well, Maynard's still with Preservation Hall
Under
now.
Preservation
He
Hall,
tours
yeah,
around the
Preservation.
world now.
Do what?
Yeah.
He tours the world. Hey, Herb.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Herb.
Speaking of touring the world, there's Herb Roselle.
There he
A
is,
legend.
in the flesh.
Hey, you know, I was thinking, remember Dave Bargeron with Blood, Sweat, and Tears?
We
Oh,
just
yeah.
mentioned him right before you got
Yeah,
on.
he played the New York club and ran into him around the corner from the club and mentioned your father's mustache. And he said, the training ground.
That's right. The training.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of guys that are still working here in New Orleans, and all of us started at the mustache.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, for horn players, in many cases, the horn players, you know, we didn't have chords as our background. You know, we started out, you know, and what the mustache did was it let us fill in those extra notes that we weren't playing, that we began to understand harmony and put Theory 101 together. The banjo players were always dealing with chords, but if you played trombone, you were going one note after another. And the mustache put those underneath notes into perspective for us.
Yeah.
Well, Gim sent this in this time about Steve Kagan.
Steve Kagan. I'm really glad he sent the article because Steve sat right behind me. He played the tuba.
Yeah.
He played the tuba. He also played the piano. But he was a brilliant musician. And he went on to become very well known. I mean, he was a composer, a conductor.
Yeah.
The music we played at the Mustache was not exactly his favorite.
I got 77.
Well, but Pete Levin wasn't happy about the play. He had a real dislike for the music, but he played it. He played it because he could, you know. But
The guys who went to music school and did composition and conducting and arranging and were really educated in music, when they saw Bye Bye Blackbird, they got nauseous.
Not
I
all
mean,
of
that
them.
was it.
Not all
No,
of
not
them.
all. No, I said the ones who went to schools. We had guys from Berkeley.
Well, Pete went to Juilliard,
Yep.
Yeah,
He had
yeah.
several.
We had musicians down here that went to schools, including myself, and there's a lot of them that really liked it. Neil Tidwell was a fine tuba player, one of the best I've ever seen. Herb, you remember him?
I never met him. Les Muscat used to rave about him.
Neil Tidwell with the symphony and the whole bit. But he loved mustache music. He loved it.
Yeah. It was a
Yes, and listen, I loved the mustache, period.
Yeah.
It was
Except
Neil
for the
was playing
hamburgers.
I
Except
played
for the
with John McAnulty. Remember him? John McAnulty's St. Louis Symphony. Played in New York for a season.
Well, there's always and still is this argument of do we want to play music or entertain the people?
That's right. Yeah.
entertained.
You know?
That's
I
what we
mean,
did.
that's an age-old argument.
Yeah. For most of us, it was neither.
Yeah. You know? But then
No, I think you're right. You're
then
right.
you say, well, look at Louis Armstrong, the greatest in jazz, who was as show busy as can be.
That's right.
Yeah, and the thing was, I always said, the people who came to your father's mustache
Okay, sorry.
and got a mustache mug was not interested in hearing Brahms or Beethoven.
Yeah.
That was not that, and
Or even
You could
good
see-
jazz.
oh,
Yeah.
you could put them to sleep.
That's
I
right.
remember the tune that I learned.
Let me see.
I learned because I wanted to do the patter.
Sorry about-
Blues My Naughty Sweetie. Talk to me.
Okay, Mike Gentry's coming on.
All right.
Ah,
All right, Mike.
and I learned that because I love the tune. It's a famous.
Hey, Mike.
Hello.
Hey, Mike.
Mike,
How you
Howdy,
doing?
Artie.
All right.
Well, I'll tell you another observation I had about classical musicians coming into the mustache. I met more than a few who, had all the pedigree and everything that you'd want. And if you asked them to play Home on the Range in F, they were freaked out. They had the classical training, but they couldn't hear their way through a paper bag. And if you moved it up a step to G, they were really done. You know, by
Absolutely.
the end of 2 weeks, they started to get it.
2 weeks, I had that guy playing tuba. And the union, I guess John or someone called the union to get him because we were in dire straits. And he brought in like an $8,000 valve tuba, beautiful. And he sat down behind me and he warmed up and I almost wet my pants. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And after, oh God, he asked me for the sheets.
Imagine.
No, hey, that's a perfectly honest question. I'm hired to play music. Where are the sheets?
Oh, yeah.
And after a whole group of people hurled peanuts at his tuba.
Oh boy.
He was the one who said, one more fucking peanut and I'm out. No, he left. He left. But he was a brilliant musician, I assume. But he had no, I don't know what it is. He had no ear for the music.
I had a gig at Fenway Park with the Red Sox one day, playing my tuba, and the same thing. It wasn't peanuts; it was coins. Right?
Coins I'll take.
Lob them in like just like it was a basketball game, and I collected about $5 in change.
Now they throw batteries.
Oh,
Yeah. We ended getting tossed out of the park because we decided we were going to stand on top of the Red Sox dugout, which is not a good thing to do at Fenway Park. They come, the security guards come from all over, and they grabbed us and they bounced us out right out of the club, out of the park.
God.
Here's a shot
And, you know,
at I
it
guess
was funny.
Oh.
Look at that.
Wow.
Jesus.
I'll see you at a Mets game.
Where
Who's
is
that?
What
Anybody
time is
know?
it?
Is that Gim?
Yeah, on the banjo.
Dennis Drury. Dennis Drury.
That's Jim
playing
on the
trombone.
banjo. I don't know who's on tuba.
That's Dennis Drury on trombone.
How about Dan Howard
Yeah.
on tuba?
Was that a mustache gig? No. They're
Looks
wearing
like
New
it.
York Yankees.
Probably was a mustache gig.
Yeah. It looks like Doc Sevenson on the trombone. I mean, on the trumpet.
Oh, yeah, right. Uh-huh. Jesus.
Yeah, I played a concert once backing up Doc Severinsen. It was this
Really? Wow.
local symphony orchestra. I'm there with my ear next to the timpani. Orchestra's going full blast. Doc Severinsen, 30 yards in front of me, hits a high cue and everything like that, and just overpowered the entire orchestra. I
Oh,
knew
yeah.
trouble
Yeah.
sound like that in my life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're right, Barry. The biggest argument was, are we entertainers or
Yeah.
musicians? And those of us who were not musicians always went for the entertainment part.
Oh, sure.
But I think that was what brought people in. I don't think the people ever really appreciated the horn players for their musicianship.
No.
I mean, Dave
True. That's true.
Bargeron,
Yeah, absolutely
Dave
right.
Bargeron was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And no one cared. The next night it would be Jay Brackett.
Yeah.
And God only knows he was not a great musician. He was a great writer. Well, I mean, a lot of us, I finished with the mustache, and that was my last gig. No, I had a jug band. I had an 11-piece jug band when I was a professor at the University of Arizona. Yeah.
No, we always looked
But
at this
more
as
than
being
that, most of us after
my brother's-
mustache went ahead and did something else musically. In fact, a
Yeah,
lot
Billy.
of us did.
Billy, see what we missed out on by sticking with kazoos?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things about the mustache bands, if you stop and think about it, it's a physical looking band. I mean, the banjos are played physically. The trombone, has the slide going in and out. There was a lot to look at in the which
Yes.
it doesn't have a lot to do with a lot of ensembles. It's not too exciting to see a trumpet player push a valve down, but you see a player go from first to sixth position. That's action.
That is actually, knock you right on your butt.
So Jim has joined us, so he can tell you about who's who on this picture.
Oh yeah, this was a picture of us at Yankee Stadium, at Shea Stadium in 1975, as I recall.
Wow, good memory.
This site, after all the discussion we had on who was Dennis Drury, this is Dennis Drury on the right-hand side. The mystery man who came and went. He just disappeared off the planet, but he was great when he was around. The rest of them is the tuba player is David Brainerd, and then me, and then the PR director for the Yankees, and that's Ed Pulser on trumpet.
Ed Folser, how about that?
Yeah.
Good. And thank you, Gim, for the article on Steve Kagan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had quite a career. Steve had quite a career.
I didn't know. All I heard after he left the mustache was that he was doing jingle.
He
He was working for that office, the music place, and he was doing, ads, jingles. I didn't realize how famous he became.
Yeah, in the 60s and 70s, jingles were a big deal in New York.
Yeah.
A lot of guys made a lot of money doing that. It was really, and I was on a couple of his jingles. It was interesting. I recall one jingle date. I show up at the studio, and Steve introduces me to well, the trumpet player was Art Farmer, the saxophone player was Benny Golson, the drummer was Steve Gadd, and I forget the rest of the guys. It was really quite a.
Check the weight room, said Tom.
Yeah, there's nobody in it. I just looked.
I see Peter and Joan trying to get in.
Yeah, Joan just doesn't have her camera on.
There's Peter. Hey, Peter.
Oh,
Oh, there's Peter.
this is a short visit today. Forgot to do that.
Let me see, turn off the light. Let me turn the light off.
Hey,
So
Joan.
There you go.
All
you're right there.
Hey, Peter.
Hiya. This is a short visit today. My desk overfloweth, so it's good to see you.
Good that you're busy.
Oh, jeepers. This
Peter,
isn't
how are
a double
you?
chin, it's a mask.
This is a double check.
That's a,
No.
So
I've
Mike
lost
Gentry, you celebrated your birthday a couple of days ago, huh?
Yeah, had a great day. Great day.
Oh,
Cool.
Happy birthday, Mike.
happy
Which one,
birthday,
Mike?
young man.
Yeah, me and Joel, same day,
Which one?
Okay, yeah.
the 20th.
Right.
No, the year. How old?
77. 77.
7, shit.
How come everyone is younger? This is bullshit. How come every?
Hey.
Jeff, just remember that one day you were the youngest guy.
It's true.
One day I'll be on this. God. No. I guess Joel is the oldest.
Joel's
Probably.
84.
Was he 84 now?
84.
84.
Yeah.
84.
somebody said 84.
Joel, yeah.
1936 he was born.
Yep. Jesus.
I had a nice little note back from Joel. I just, sent him birthday greetings, and I thank him all the time because the training we got in the mustache was so good for lots of other things,
Yeah.
business and festivals. So I'm really grateful to him.
Yeah. Oh, Joni, Carla says hi and gives you
What was that?
love. Carla. You remember Carla? Hello? Oh, yeah.
What do you say, Ira?
There's Ira.
Yeah.
How's everybody?
Hey.
My loving ex-wife.
What's that?
My loving ex-wife says hello to Joni.
Oh,
What?
Carla.
Carla, yes.
Is she in Massachusetts, Bill?
Oh, no, she moved on to Connecticut. My son David is working down there in insurance, making a bundle of money.
Well, please give her my regards back. That's a
Oh, I
long time
definitely
ago.
will. I send copies of these sessions to her so she has seen you at least.
Okay. Hi, Carla.
Very good.
Whoa.
Oh,
Thank
me
you.
and my buddy boy. And that's Danny's sister,
That's Danny Rubio's sister, Julie Jules.
Julie Rubio.
Yeah.
So here we go, Ira.
Singing.
You lost the picture, Tom.
You don't see it?
No, we lost it.
No.
We lost it.
Okay. Share the screen. Yeah, we did lose it.
There he is.
I
Is
keep
John
going
Murata
back
coming
and forth.
today?
I thought he was, according to what I saw.
Oops.
All right, I don't know what's going on.
Whatever. But that was Danny's sister, Julie.
We were looking at her, not you, Ira. That's for shit sure.
I know that.
There it is.
Yeah.
Look how young Julie was. Look how Ira, you look the
Look how
same.
young I was.
Whatever
And
happened?
Joe.
God. Unbelievable.
And look, Tara was touching up his goatee with gray so he could look sophisticated.
Exactly. Hey, does Julie still look like that, Barry?
Say what?
Does Julie still look like that?
No.
No?
But she still looks good for a 65-year-old girl. I mean, she looks
Wow.
good.
I know
Ciao.
when we knew her there, we always used to say, she looks just like Danny.
And look, the lady on the bottom right corner, that's Danny's mother.
Oh,
Is it really?
Yeah, before she died, yeah. That's Danny and Julie's mother.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's Aunt Jane. I called her Aunt Jane.
Wow.
God, look at Tara. Oh,
Yeah.
Buddy
Tara
boy.
had a clean white shirt and a clean red and white vest. Jeez.
I know.
Beginning of the
Yeah, he
night.
never wore a vest.
And he just touched up his mustache
His
goatee.
goatee, touch
Oh,
it.
yeah, his hair, yeah.
If you put a little gray in, it looks sophisticated.
Joe could never be set up. Joe always had this sixth sense that he knew he was being had, and he never fell into it. I remember one night at the Garter, Philadelphia had a mayor who was despised in the club. His name was Milton Street. So Joe's doing his bit with, hey, let's hear it for this neighborhood. Let's hear it for that street. That's it. And John McLaren is in the back saying Milton Street, Milton Street. And so Joe said, yeah, let's hear it for Milton Avenue.
Oh, really? That's funny.
God.
So that was Joe.
Yeah, he was some guy.
My favorite was in New York, he'd say, let's hear for the Staten Island Ferry. That was the biggest applause of the night.
God. The biggest applause was when he wired up that bass drum over the women's bathroom.
Right.
You remember that?
And pull the banana.
Oh, the bananas, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Well, I remember one night underneath the gong, Joe had a gong against the back wall.
Yeah.
Yep.
And three Chinese guys sat underneath it. Joe began doing a bit where he would pull the gong, and then and the three Chinese guys would applaud politely, and the crowd applauded with him. Well, as these guys began drinking, pull the gong, and they were jumping up and cheering for the gong. And finally, Joe turned to Ronnie Beisel and said, "Play Chinatown, but stop after every phrase." Da, 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 gong. These guys stand up. Well, about the fourth time in, Joe fakes the banana pull. No gong, but the Chinese guys three still jumped up in midair, and that.
You do that a lot, Herb.
That finished the song. No one could play after that. That was another Joe Terra thing. He just knew the audience. He would just sense when a bit was coming. He was brilliant.
Yeah, one time his wife came to do a belly dance. This was in Key West, Florida. So we had this big rehearsal. Said when Joe hits the bass drum, that's when y'all switch from Havana Gila, go into Exodus or whatever song she wanted. So Joe Terra, she gets up there and the crowd starts going crazy for the live performance. And Joe gets so excited, he inadvertently hits the bass drum. So we go into the next song. And she wasn't finished her routine. And she's the only person, she looked at Joe and turned around and gave him the bird and cussed him out on the stage. Oh, yeah. And Danny started laughing. Danny Rubio started laughing in the tube. I guess she had to be there, but that's the only time I saw Joe. Lack of words. He didn't know what to say. Yeah.
Okay, this picture here is obviously Ronnie Bill and Joe.
Yeah.
On the far left is a wonderful trombonist named Dick Brady,
Yep.
studio trombonist, and in the middle is Ed McKee. And
Yep.
on the right, barely visible in the drums, is Tom Geekus, who was a local drummer from Wildwood. That's that band.
Oh, was he a big guy?
He was a big guy.
Yeah, I remember.
Barry, what was your nickname for the drummer?
Yeah, we called him
I don't know,
Tom
what
the
was
Hut. We called him Tom the Hut.
He'd play the whole night. He wouldn't take a break.
He was a real big guy, I remember.
Yeah. Mhm.
He would get 2 pitchers of root beer and 2-3 bags of potato chips and stay up there the whole night for 6 hours. And Danny said, I'd hate to see when he goes and takes a piss. Jeez.
Oh, man.
Oh, Lord.
Barry, for some reason, Barry, I remember relating to him as the Kiss My Greasy Red
Bye,
Ass.
you guys.
Oh, I don't.
Bye, John.
But I'll see you next week.
See you, Jenny.
Take care.
Thanks for doing this.
See you again.
Take care. I don't. There are so many memories, and you forget them. I forget things.
Tom Geekus had the tendency to rush the tempos. And when he got started, they were gradual Cellarondos. And I remember John McClaren coming down from a set after Tom had done a notorious rush, and John said to me, "You ever try to hold back a freight train?"
That's funny.
Bill Higbee.
Yeah.
Joe, who's on trombone?
That's the one we don't know. There's somebody.
Is that Edmonds? Joe Edmonds?
Bill Higbee's
That's what
famous
my note
line was,
Joe Edmonds.
I had to jack off this morning to get my heart going again.
And Joe with the cigar.
I'm glad Joe left this meeting.
Yeah, I
Yes.
waited.
God. Billy was the nicest kid.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
God.
Ira, he worked for you when you were the manager there for a while, huh?
Oh, Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what happened? He wanted a raise. I wasn't manager, Ron Fuller was.
Oh, that's right.
And he wanted a raise to $8.50 an hour. And Fuller said no. So we hired Mike Swan for 10 an hour. That's exactly
Let me
what
get
happened.
that. Let me get the math on that.
Yeah, figure out the math. Mike
Why do you
Swan.
think he did that? Why do you think he did that?
I have
Who the hell
no
knows? I
idea.
think maybe he just didn't get along with Higbee. He also got rid of Russ Adams.
How can you get in a war with a gumdrop? He was
Yeah.
the nicest guy in the world.
Yep. Yep.
He's
I
the
don't know what
first-
happened.
He's the first banjo player I heard in the New York club was
Who,
Higbee.
Higbee?
When I walked in '72, he was playing.
Yeah. And then
God.
Fuller got rid of him and hired Mike Swan from the Red Garter, I think.
Billy was working at Point Misery, whatever, Point Pleasant.
Right.
And that was the time that Joel sent me out 2 or 3 weekends in a row to train the new player. And I got there, and I immediately fell in love with him because he too was a tenor player who couldn't find a melody note. And I said to him, Billy, don't worry. Spend your time looking at the crowd and learning the tunes. Just call the right tunes and enjoy yourself. He turned out to be a hell of a good lead, not musically, but he could control a crowd, which was okay, that was my opinion. That's what we were there for.
Yeah.
He used to go into a set on the stage of the 50s, and the people went nuts. He would get on his back and shake his feet up in the air. He was good. I liked him.
Oh yeah, I had 2 amazing tune calling leaders in New York. I mean, the guys who really demonstrated how to bring an audience along, how to pace an audience and everything. One of them was right there on our screen, Gim Burton, and the other one was Ronnie Beisel. Those 2 guys could put a room, if you wanted the room screen 52, they did it. They knew exactly, you know, how to pace the room, how to sell the beer. They were as good as anything.
That was it. Hey, they were my mentors.
Herb, you weren't bad yourself. I always think of you as the best, and you wasn't even a banjo player.
Well, you're just saying that because it's true.
No, hey.
I used
No,
to
that's
watch you when we were playing opposite each other in opposite bands. I'd say, man, that Herb, he comes up with some shit. I don't know how he senses that, you know?
The big hit was Elvira.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that, Elvira?
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. I think Kim,
Hello.
you taught the banjo players more than anyone else about calling tunes and playing. Ronnie Beisel was just a wonderful, wonderful player and handsome. I hated the son of a bitch. Handsome. He had women crawling on the stage.
And he crawled
All
up.
I did was drool.
But Ronnie had his share of escapades with the ladies.
Share of the escapades?
Yeah,
Let me think.
There was one night when some jilted boyfriend came in and tried to crush Ronnie's skull with a beer pitcher. I remember that.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Ronnie,
yes, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
he was out for almost a week.
Yes, he was.
God.
Are y'all glad that there was no iPhones around back then?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. If they had a record of what we did on the stage, not we, me, I'd be in jail.
Still.
Still.
I remember one time Herb and I were having a discussion, and Herb said that if the guys in the 80s and 90s understood what we understood as far as medleys and key changes and tempo changes, they could have taken the 60s music and made $1 million.
Yeah.
You remember saying that, Herb?
Yeah, if some, two guitars, and bass, and drums, if they knew how to call a room the way we could, doing 60s and 70s music, they could have had a nightclub chain screaming. But they didn't know. They just played tunes. But if
those 60s songs were 60s and 70s songs were perfect for sing-along stuff.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and they're doing it now. Like I live in not a senior citizen place, but we have a lot of retirees around where I am. And when you play those songs and everything, they all know the words.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know who took our place? Karaoke.
Oh, that's
right.
Yeah.
True.
That's karaoke. The big places on Bourbon Street, they're doing what we used to do live. That's all.
Yeah. You know, the other advantage we had, Barry, down in Wildwood, was that we were working with band members who knew where we were trying to go with the audience. You know, and this wasn't us leading a band. The whole band knew what the point was. And we had a wonderful veteran crew down there, both bands. And it was nice to have two bands because I got to meet other trombone players.
Yeah, that was great. That was the best. Yeah.
The incredible thing was going to Carnegie Hall and seeing you guys after 50 years and sitting down and playing. I couldn't believe it. I was still the same shitty circle of fifths, but I couldn't believe all the same tunes, the same attitude. It was a happy crew. It was happy again.
The audience loved us.
And Jeff's great line at seeing Murata for the first time, Jeff turned to me and said, "Herb, on the count of 3, you hit him at the knees, I'll get him high."
I love Murata, but Murata used me like an old shoe. I mean, the gigs that no one would do, he made me a star.
Yeah.
So Mike
I just
Gentry was
emailed
at
him to see if
my
he was
house.
coming on.
Mike Gentry was at my house, and we were watching a YouTube thing of Chris Fenimore playing at a New Jersey club. It wasn't a Mustache; it was something else. It
Yeah.
was a Mustache type band.
The old straw hat.
Yeah, the straw hat.
Yeah.
And it's about an hour long. So you get to see a whole set of Chris leading the band
Yes.
with a crowd just like the Mustache. And Mike and I watched it in awe because Chris was doing the exact same medleys, same tempos, same exact everything that we
Yeah.
did in New Orleans, in the 70s. I said, that's amazing how we all did pretty much the same shit, the same thing. I mean, we were in awe because we never met Chris at the time,
Yeah. That video at the old Straw Hat was
Route
great.
22.
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Have you all seen it? You saw it, Gim?
Oh yeah, it's great. That's a great video. Oh,
It's a great video.
I worked the old Straw Hat for about 6 months at one point, and it was a nice joint. Ronnie Bill played there.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe others I don't know about, but
I
think Joan played.
Ronnie Bill there.
Joan played there.
There was also another place in Jersey called Hambone Kelly's.
Yeah.
oh, that was
And
out.
Bill Higbee played
That
there.
was out. That Hambone Kelly's was run by Rocco Paterno and
Correct. Yep. Rocco
Norman.
and Cynthia, or
Cynthia. I don't think so. I think it was Denise. Rocco married Denise.
right? That's who it was, Denise.
Yeah.
But Rocco was there, and I went up to see Higbee there.
Yes,
And
Higbee
Norm
was.
Burbank.
That's right.
Tuba
that's right.
player, Norm.
The Hambone Kelly's was there kind of it was sort of to replicate the Turk Murphy kind of thing. At the Earthquake Magoons. That was kind of they did the Mustache stuff as well, but they did a lot of Turk Murphy and Lou Waters kind of stuff.
So people were listening.
Yeah, well, they were good. They were good musicians. Rocco's a hell of a fine trombone player. He's good.
Yes.
Very entertaining man too.
Oh,
We
let
had
me
a
tell you.
good time.
Let me tell you about a great song I ran into. The Jim Cullum Jazz Band down in San Antonio.
Yeah.
There's a song called Sanctus, Sanctus, and the song was originally by Schubert, but they did a swing version of it. And there's a singer on it named Nina Ferro, Ferro, who is just fabulous on it. It's a Schubert song that they swing. She sings on it. If you get a chance to go on YouTube and look that up, it'll knock you out. Jim Cullum Jazz Band.
He died. He died a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but take a listen to that one. It'll knock you out.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks for bringing me up to date.
So one night a few years ago, I was playing at Fritzel's down on Bourbon Street, and Jim Cullum and his band had a job in New Orleans, so the whole band came into Fritzel's. So we had two bands on the stage together for about 3 sets. What a jam session that was!
Yep.
That was good.
You had room on that stage for 2 bands?
No, they were standing on the sides,
That's what I figured.
Out the front door.
in the audience, We had a hell of a time, that's for sure.
Yeah, I had a hell of a time on your bandstand, Barry, there at Fritzel's.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was small.
But I remember you, Herb, we're playing straight Dixieland jazz, and Herb's taking his solo. And in the middle of the solo, he started playing Feelings. Feelings, nothing more than feelings.
Hey, Barry, is Fritzel's going to open again?
What's that?
Fritzel's going to open again?
No, not yet.
You think they will reopen eventually?
Who knows?
Yeah. Do they own the building? They own the property?
No, they rent.
No.
All that property is old money,
Yeah.
Yeah, they opened up the beer stand windows and to-go drinks on Bourbon Street, and it was packed. So they're going to probably screw things up again.
Probably, yeah.
God. I got to head off, guys. Love seeing you.
Yeah.
Love seeing you guys.
Once
I'll
again,
see you next week.
Good night, Jeff.
All
Good
right.
night.
Great to see you, Jeff.
Good to
See you,
see you,
Jeff.
Jeff.
But the good news is I played in my third job last Saturday night since
Oh, my
COVID
goodness.
started. And let me tell you what, all the musicians are rusty, including
bet.
me.
How's
Including
Kevin
me.
Clark doing?
Where was the job, Barrett?
I did a wedding. It was easy. We did 35 minutes outside the church. They had champagne toast outside of the church. And we went to where the reception was, played the first 5 songs, did the specialty dances, and that was it.
Wow.
What's Kevin Clark doing?
He's doing what they doing around here. A lot of the musicians are doing, they called front porch concerts.
Oh, yeah.
And they do a concert on a front porch with a camera, put it on Facebook, and people send in tips on with Venmo.
Oh, that's nice.
You know, but they, yeah, I mean, they're not making any money. I mean, yeah. But they're playing.
Whatever happened to Ira Gutman?
Ira Gutman is in South Jersey
Right.
selling hot dogs.
Really?
That's all I know.
At least he's still alive.
I think so. I believe he is, yeah. Oh, here comes Dave.
Here comes.
He's got his audio on. There we go.
There you go.
He's back.
Hey, Dave.
What's up, Dave?
No Banu this week, huh?
No, she hasn't changed out.
I thought we were going to see John because I thought he wrote on there like he's on his
Sent him an
12th
email.
flight.
I was just asking him. I sent him the link again. I sent him an email and said, John, can you come?
Yeah.
I hope he's okay.
He said he's on his 12th life.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I saw that. Yeah.
From the tone of his note, I felt he must have had some sort of problem that kept him away, but he didn't say what it was.
Right.
yeah, if somebody can send him a note, because I just sent him one. If somebody else could just check on him this week, that would be good. I haven't heard back from him, so he's not.
Anybody checked on Joel lately?
He sent me an email. I sent him a happy birthday email a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
He sent
Right.
me an email back. It sounded all right.
Well, I guess on an email he would sound okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's better off on email, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Barry, don't you find out that when you're rusty, when you haven't played a while, I mean, I run, there's no place I can play around here. This is all beach music where I am. But when I played those Clearwater Jazz Festivals for Joni, the first couple of sets, I've got the chops up and I practice and I've done like some prep work, but coming up with the ideas on those first 2 sets are just murder for me. It's the brain that's rusty that I find.
Oh, yeah.
Same here.
For sure.
The 3 jobs I played, all of them were 1-hour gigs. And the gig was over, and I started feeling halfway human about playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Started feeling halfway human. That's what warming up at home and playing an hour at home and stuff like that. But getting on a gig is different than playing at home.
There's no substitute for combat. You get about that. The time on the range is good, but there's nothing like combat.
You get so much out of that one.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I think that's what Herb is saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, that feeling is horrible.
Yeah. And the other thing that falls apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing that falls apart for me, like you coming back, is time. You're thinking of the idea that all of a sudden your attention is diverted, and I find that my time gets very, very bad. Like until I get my feet under me a little bit, but time goes.
Right.
You also find that you don't drink nearly as much as you used to before you played?
Oh, no, I do. No, that hasn't been a problem.
Oh, yeah.
I've moved from beer to wine.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness.
When I think about the fact that we used to keep a pitcher of beer on the stage
Oh,
and
yeah.
drink a pitcher of beer for every set that we, that we went through, and then have beers during the break, taking the tickets and all that jazz. Now I'm a cheap date, like one beer and I'm ready. I'm yours, So I just can't believe how much it's changed.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you all drink a lot of beer during the sets? Was it just me?
Mike Gentry and I used to drink an
Oh,
8-ounce glass after every medley.
Sure.
Mike?
Well, if you drink
Maynard
a
and
lot,
I shared a big jug of whiskey each night. I'm surprised my liver is still good.
Maynard Chatters. There's 3 of us on this call. Peter, Mike, and myself. We used to play at the New Orleans Club with Maynard Chatters, the trombone player.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I might have told this story a previous week.
Let's get a taste, and we go to that joint.
You go to that grocery store and get a quart for a couple of dollars. We'd all put in 75 cents, and we thought that was high, and drink the quart. And there's 3 of us on the call right now that would partook in that. And we're still alive. And the thing is, we could have walked to the bar and had Rick Haley, who's on this call, pour us a drink for, I guess it was 50 cents or 35 cents.
Employee prices.
We thought that was too high. That was too high. The nerve of the mustache to charge us 35 cents for a mixed drink. That was uncalled for. So we went and got a bottle.
and finish it every night.
Yeah, the nice thing about the Ray Garter thing in Wildwood was that we could drink anything we wanted, anytime we wanted, as much as we wanted. There was no limit on us.
Yeah, Jimmy King was nice, nice man. Jimmy King.
I drank a freaking quart of old granddad there every night I played. Wow. It was my quart. They'd see me walking up to the bar at no cost, just pour it.
Remember Russ Adams, the cook? He drank a quart of Wilson's every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every day.
Good Lord.
That's what I was doing at the Red Garter.
Oh.
I mean, that's how I got married to Lucy. Was if I wanted a beer, I caught Lucy's eye and got her attention. She brought me up a beer, and I said, I got to take this woman seriously.
Oh man. Yeah, we did some stuff.
Is that Maynard Shatters?
There it is.
Yeah, there's
That's Maynard.
Maynard.
Les.
Maynard, Les, Barry, and Pete.
Yeah. What was Maynard singing?
He used to like the green grass at home.
Yeah.
Or Dear Heart.
Dear Heart, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Those nurses that Mike remembers, they'd always come in and say, Maynard, sing Dear Heart.
Oh, yeah.
Maynard had a following. Ladies
what about
loved me.
those times you would ride the train up to Chicago for shoot and come back with the, you had a trio going.
That was me, Maynard, and Danny Rubio.
And what was that? Was that for bringing people down from Mardi Gras?
Yeah, they'd fly us to Los Angeles or Chicago, and then the people would come back on the train coming to Mardi Gras.
Wow.
Look at Les Muscat.
Les.
One night he said, do you guys want to go home early? And we said, place was packed. I said, sure. He was such a great tune caller. He didn't do one dirge after another, but Roger came out and he goes, where the hell is everybody? And then he just did the hand over to the throat. And we got out of there soon. I don't know what, he was such a good tune caller. We left.
Yes.
Babs is still around Jackson Square sometime, Barry, if you're over around there.
I have to
You
go
see
check
Babs
that out.
every once in a while, Barry?
No, but Rick said she's still around, right, Rick?
Yeah,
I've seen her a couple of
Yeah.
times in the last few years. around
Give her a
Jackson
hi
Square.
if you run into her. Give her a hi from Herb. I've got one of her tile paintings on my kitchen wall.
Good for you.
Yeah, she used to do old shingles from the old buildings and paint on
Oh,
those
yeah,
shingles.
that's right. She did. I remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that.
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah. I'm not sure what she was doing the last time I saw her, but she looked good. I mean, looked like Babs.
Jim, did you know Les Muscat?
Very well, sure.
Okay.
Because like as with a lot of the guys who were went on to lead other clubs, he came to New York first,
Right.
and hung around there for a month or so, and we broke them all in. He and Les Bennett and Les and Neil Intersayer and
Right.
all the guys you know.
That's the band at Joe the Bartenders.
Is that Rick Brona on the right?
No, I don't
That's
think.
Walter Hart. That's Walter Hart.
Walter Hart on the right-hand side. Then
Yeah.
Sonny. Banu kneeling. Banu was kneeling there.
Yeah, and that's the piano player. I forget what his name was. The piano player is kneeling with Banu.
That's a
This,
great.
the washboard on the extreme left is Melody Moorhead.
And who's the girl next to her? Who's the girl
Badu
next to her?
said all the guys loved her name, Melody
Oh,
Moorhead.
that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
Who's the girl next to her?
Is that Sam on tuba? I think that's Sam Palafian on tuba, isn't it?
I think
Oh, did
you're
he
right.
play with us?
I think you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
He was from Arizona,
You're
right?
No, he was from Miami. His
Was he?
his parents owned a motel.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Group shot with Johnny Ford instead of the top. Which one is Johnny Ford?
He's the one, third from the left.
Right, the blonde
Okay.
guy next to the girl between the girl and the tuba player.
And
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
the girl to his left? Well, to his right.
No idea.
Looks like Jacqueline Kennedy.
It probably isn't, though.
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I think Walter Hart ended up being a minister.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh, gracious.
The mustache has been a bad influence.
Oh Lord.
Oh man.
Who was the trombone player that ended up being a minister? Guy from New Orleans, Barry.
Gee.
Worked up there in St. Louis for a long time. Bill, do you know?
He played trombone.
Trombone player.
Not Jimmy Hayslip?
Yes.
I don't think he became a
Sonny
minister.
played for
Jimmy
played for St. Louis
was a
Club for quite a while.
full-blooded alcoholic. He was not
Yeah. Jimmy left the mustache and went and worked with Pete Fountain for a long time, but he drank a lot.
Oh yeah.
He used to, Neil Unterseer told me he used to put his booze in an old peanut butter jar because it had a seal around the lid and he could drink it faster. And he ended up drinking himself to death.
He was an amazing trombonist, I thought.
Yeah, and he had his voice was like
Ready?
Satchmo.
Yeah. Okay.
I only heard Jimmy Hayslip play once for about 15 minutes, and he staggered me. I thought he was just an incredible player.
He was.
Yeah. He was good. He was good. Yeah.
Did any of you guys ever work with Herb Bruce
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Boy,
My favorite
he's,
player.
he's my favorite.
He's quite a player.
I mean, he,
Herb's quite a player.
yeah, he's just an amazing player.
Oh, wow.
Great
Without a
idea,
doubt.
great jazz player, fabulous.
They call him Sybil down in Florida. His name is Sybil. He's got so many different personalities on the trombone.
We had a trombone
What,
player.
what do you want to play? You want to play this? Okay.
St. Louis.
Play something else? Okay, we'll play that. He's
Yeah.
a great player.
Next week. See y'all.
All right, Rick.
Who can help me out here? There was a Henry.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Rick.
Hi, Rick.
Next week.
All right.
It's called Henry.
Hi, Bill.
Anybody?
Henry Newberger.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy Henry.
Brother who was a tuba player, a good tuba player.
Crazy Henry's still around. I worked with him last year, but I haven't seen him recently.
Wow.
His brother was a tuba player.
Well, Eli was the tuba player in the Black Eagle band, but he left. He's got his own band now. And
Can you imagine two brothers becoming tuba players together? Jeez.
well, Henry's a multi-talented guy. He plays trombone and piano as well. I've worked with
his parents.
I've worked with him when he plays just him on piano and me, or him on tuba.
And his day job was he was a junior high school history teacher.
That's right. That's right. That's right. He lives out on Long Island now.
Yeah,
he's always lived out on Long Island. But
He performed on the in Boston with the Peter and the Wolf. You know that? It's a long piece.
Yeah.
I don't know that story.
And he performed it.
If you get a hold of the postcard that has the New York Club on it, with the Joel and me, and I think it's Jeff is the other banjo player, but the trumpet player the trombone player in that picture is Henry.
Okay. He was a character, a lively guy.
Oh, he was a very entertaining guy. Very entertaining guy. I worked with him lots of times. At the Mustache, obviously, and elsewhere.
Is that the standard postcard that we all had at all the clubs
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
I think
Grove,
so.
Grove Thomas playing washboard.
Thomas.
That's right.
Thomas
Grover's on the washboard, right? Yeah. That's right.
I think I still have a couple of those.
There
that one. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
That was Ronnie.
Tom, you getting good.
I'm trying.
We think it, you show it.
Yeah, and I had dark hair then. Look at that. The tuba player, by the way, is Steve Kagan. That's the guy we were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah.
And you notice the position of Grove's knife. It's silhouetted against the black molding on the wall.
Thank God it was a butter knife.
Yes, exactly.
Now, Grove went out to Arizona, right, with his TV job?
Colorado, but you were close.
He went to Grand Junction, Colorado.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I visited him out there once. It was really quite a place. Yeah. Then he moved to Montana, and I forget exactly where in Montana, where he got another job with another station. But, he became diabetic and was a mainliner with the insulin. It eventually did him in. I mean, diabetics sometimes die early because all of their systems, internal systems wear out. So they pass early, and he was one of them.
That bandstand seems bigger than what I remember.
It wasn't all that big.
Yeah, I know. It seems bigger than what I remember. I remember being crowded with just 4 of us up there, and they got, 6 of them up there.
And a piano.
Yeah.
The musician who always used to do a vamp on piano to lead into The Great Pretender.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was some, he would just pound out the chords to the Great Pretender, the opening. Da, 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 da.
Oh, wait.
And,
Herb, what time frame you worked New York? The New
what's
York.
that?
What time frame? What years?
Oh, I was played there, I guess, 68 and 69, and then
Right.
they intervened. So I was just there for a couple of years.
You weren't there in the 70s, Herb?
Huh?
You didn't play there in the 70s?
No, I never remember. No, after, it may have been a little bit. I may have, like 1970. It would have been only then, because at that point with the Army away and everything, I went back home. It was just easier. And I had a kid by that time, so, the playing in a bar in New York City wasn't going to fit my family.
Who was the trombone player
Color
at
picture at
Mustache
Maynard.
in New York that was a detective, a drug cop?
Who's the other banjo player?
Yeah.
Bruce
Bruce
O'Neill.
O'Neill.
Bruce O'Neill and Charlie Hernandez.
Yeah, I
Playing
remember
tuba.
Charlie. Yeah.
Bruce O'Neill, he was affected with being cross-eyed, and his famous line is, "Gotta have eye contact with the crowd. Gotta have eye contact with the crowd."
Yeah.
And who's on tuba?
Charlie Hernandez.
He was my sub on my nights off.
Oh.
And you know what? Through the years, I've tried to find Charlie. I went to the white pages and the computer and talked to people that used to know him, and he disappeared. He used to be a high school band director here in the town I live in Metairie. Nobody knows what happened to him.
Wow.
Same thing with Bob Munsey.
Yeah, disappeared from the face of the earth.
Yes, sir.
And that's since the mustache burned down. Now, I know that tuba he's holding, that wasn't his tuba. That was Loyola University's tuba.
Wow.
And it burned up in the fire.
Oh,
Maybe,
boy.
So who knows? Maybe it had something to do with it.
Yeah, my sousaphone got burned up too.
I had a banjo burn up.
Oh.
And you know what? None of us got any money for that.
Not a dime. Not a dime.
Hey guys, I'm headed out. Dinner calls.
You bet.
All right, Herb.
So,
I gotta
we're out of here.
I gotta go. I gotta go too.
I gotta go too.
I gotta go
Bye.
too. I'm cooking tonight.
Okay, guys, good to see you. We'll talk to
See
you
you
next
next
week.
week.
Say hi to Dottie.
To see y'all
See
again.
you later.
Donnie went to a
Bye.
funeral.
Bye, guys.
We'll say hi to her when she comes back.
I will.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Okay, guys.